Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Oh My Lewis back at you with another video. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about speaking up. Alright, so speaking up as an introvert. So how do you do it? So if you're an introvert yourself, or maybe you're wondering what an introvert thinks when it comes to speaking up, you should know by now that introverts, for the most part, don't like to speak up. We don't like to talk. We don't like to initiate conversations. We don't like to be the first ones to, start a conversation. We don't like to engage in group conversations. We don't like to do anything that involves us really talking and speaking up and really saying what we feel, right? And that's me as well. I include myself in that list, even though you see me here, making these videos, and perhaps you might have seen me make other videos where I appear and I'm, sharing something or explaining to you something, or I'm trying to, tell you to go, sign up here, sign up there to get something for free here and there and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, if you were to see me on my day-to-day, for the most part, I'm just pretty quiet. I don't really talk. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel inclined enough to go and start talking to the entire world. Maybe I say hi here, hi there, just to be, polite, to be nice and everything, but other than that, it's not like I'm excited, I really want to talk today, I want to go and just, communicate with everybody in the whole world. That's not me for the most part. So here's the thing. If you're an introvert, you may be struggling with this, right? You may be out in the world and you're unable to really speak up, and you can't really talk. You can't really raise your voice. When you talk, you sound a little bit like you're not really confident in what you're saying. Your words start to sort of not come to you, and just like it's happening to me right now, or you start to stutter, or you start to just feel very uncomfortable and weird about having to talk. But you need to talk, whatever the occasion may be. Maybe you're going to the grocery store and you need to, ask for something in the grocery store. You can't find it. You need to ask somebody who works there, like, hey, where is this? Where is that thing? But you're like, oh my God, I don't want to go and ask, because that involves, having to talk to somebody. Maybe you feel uncomfortable at work and you want to talk to your boss, but you're just not, the words are not coming to you. Or perhaps as a guy, you see a girl somewhere and you want to go and talk to her. You genuinely feel like, she's attractive, and also perhaps you might see a few things here and there, because as I said, introverts have a very good wide range of awareness. You might be able to see that girl. You might be able to just tell within the first few seconds that, hey, you know what, that's a potential girlfriend, but you just may not know what the hell to say. You just may be stuck there, you're frozen, and at the end, nothing happens. You're at work, you're getting, something's not going right, and because you didn't speak up, now work sucks. Or who knows, maybe you went to the store, you didn't ask the guy, you never found what you were looking for, so you left the store empty-handed. And this sucks. As an introvert, this sucks, right? It sucks that through communication is really the only way to get what you want for the most part. And usually what ends up happening, I mean, I don't want to go into that stuff, but introverts can go to very extreme extents to get what they want, because communication simply is not an option. That we would rather go and do other things that will get us what we want instead of communication. But here's the thing, and I used to think this way too, until I started to practice little by little how to communicate, and that's what I'm going to teach you in this video. But here's the thing about communication, as an introvert, it's never going to come natural to you. This is something that's going to stay with you, and it's okay. So the first step to really be able to speak up is really to accept and embrace the fact that you don't like to speak up. Just embrace it, accept that you suck right now. If you do, accept that it's just not something that's going to come to you easy, and it's just something that's not going to come natural, no matter how much we actually practice, no matter the steps. I'm going to teach you a few steps that you can do after this, to improve your communication and actually go and get what you want. But other than that, it's just going to be you executing techniques, and it's not going to be you actually enjoying what you're doing there. It's going to be very just not a very pleasurable experience. Let's just say that. And that's okay. Like I said, you have to accept this, embrace the fact that communication just sucks. And that's okay, because as an introvert, you have other abilities, like I spoke in a previous video, that are going to make you shine in other areas that, people who have really excellent communication, they'll probably never excel at, so there's that. So how do you actually go and speak up? So first, embrace. Second, have a strategy. So you need a strategy. You need a reason why you're gonna go and put yourself in such a uncomfortable situation to begin with. Because like I said, as introverts, we don't enjoy communication. We don't enjoy going and speaking up. It's horrible. It's just annoying. It's just not the best thing ever to do. We would rather go and do some other stuff. So you must have a very strong reason, a very strong purpose, a very strong desire to go and put yourself in such a situation that's going to cause you really to, put yourself in uncomfort and put yourself on the line, really, to the extent that you could really go as far as going and embarrassing yourself, really, because as an introvert, like I said, communication doesn't come very natural, and because of that, you probably haven't done it as much. And because you haven't done it as much, for the most part, the first few times that you do it, you're gonna blow it. It's gonna be very embarrassing, and you're probably not gonna get what you want. And you have to understand that that's what's going to happen, because if you don't, you're going to go in there blindly thinking that, oh, okay, I'm going to go and try and practice. And you're going to be failing miserably over and over and over again until you're going to assume that communication just sucks and this is not the way to go, and you're going to go and take other alternatives. And that's not what I'm trying to tell you in this video. What I'm trying to tell you is that for the first few times, it's going to suck. You're going to do bad, but that's okay. That's okay. And it's going to take you a while before you start to get comfortable. But what we're trying to do here is have a strong purpose. Okay, so if you're going to the store, like we said, and you're trying to get that one item, make sure that in your mind this item actually has a lot of value. Like you have to pick out this item. You have to buy this item because you need this item for whatever reason. Maybe you're gonna cook some food, you need that specific ingredient. You can't go empty-handed out of the store because you need that ingredient. And you need that ingredient because who knows, maybe you're gonna cook food and maybe it's not just for you. Maybe the food is for your wife, your girlfriend, somebody, right, that you love. And so you need to realize that. You need to realize that there has to be a strong motivation for you to do that. So when you're picking out that item, make sure that you remember that purpose, that reason, and that'll give you sufficient motivation to go and ask for whatever it is that you need. In the situation of work, perhaps over there you don't feel very comfortable, something's not happening, you need to talk to your boss about it, and you're very scared to go and talk to your boss about it. But really think, measure out the consequences. If there's something about work, that's bothering you, just think about 10, 20 days ahead, maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, a year. Think about it. In a year, if this continues, where are you going to end up? How worse is this going to get? If you don't speak up now, how bad is it going to be in a year? So make sure that you think about those things and think about how bad it's going to be and use that as motivation. Same thing with the girl. If you're a guy, you want to talk to that girl and you're doubting it, make sure you look at this girl and see, think about the reason why you want a girlfriend, why you want to go out, why you want to date. Really think about those things. And for the most part, if you want to date, it's usually because you enjoy that, that feeling, you enjoy that experience of dating. And so think about that. And also look at the girl and look at her and be like, hey, what, it would be unfair for me to not go and approach, because who knows, maybe she actually really likes you as well. Maybe she's looking for a guy just like you as well. And if you don't go and talk to her, well, then that's sort of unselfish for you, because you didn't go over there, you didn't introduce yourself and show her that you are an option for her. And so you have to think about these reasons, think about the motivation, the reason why you would want to put yourself in an uncomfortable spot and actually, be willing to try. So once you have a reason, once you've embraced that you suck, and once you have a reason to do it, then you're going to go and do it. And for the most part, it's going to go to shit, right? You're going to go, well, who knows? Depending on how the level of difficulty, what is it that you're trying to get. So obviously, there's certain things out there that are easier to get than others. So my recommendation is that you start with easy things. Start with easy things that communication can get you. Like, you can probably get away with it even if your execution isn't that good. Like, for example, you're at the store. Probably, the guy that's helping you out right there in the store is probably very friendly, right? The guy is probably very friendly, so it's probably not going to be as hard, to go and ask. You go and ask, maybe you stutter a little bit and everything, but it's not going to be a big deal. That person will understand what you want as long as you speak up clearly, obviously, and I don't think you have a problem with that. I mean, this is not a video about that. This is a video about, obviously, you got to have everything in place. You got to be able to talk and speak and know the language. And so, but as long as you know those things, I mean, you can go and very, very easily just go and ask. And so that's going to be a pretty easy one. Your boss, it might be a little bit harder because, there may be things like, you may be scared of losing your job if you speak up. Or who knows, maybe you're scared of rejection. You're scared of not actually getting what you want when you talk to your boss. And so, there's these things right here that, in that case, that may be a little bit more challenging. That's more of a more intermediate and advanced type of a territory, depending on the job that you have and the request that you're making, And of course, asking a girl out, if you don't know this girl, if you've never seen her before, you're seeing her right now, maybe it's at a coffee shop, maybe it's at a bus station, maybe it's, somewhere out there, you've never seen her. This is a very intermediate to advanced type of approach as well for an introvert, because there's a high risk of rejection because you don't know this girl. You don't know how it's going to go. You have no way to predict what would be the right words for you to say when you go and approach that are going to actually get you what you want, which is, in that case, who knows, whatever I don't even know what your intentions are. If your intentions are, to get her on a date, that's harder than maybe you're trying to, I'm not going to get into this stuff, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of things. You can get her number, you can get her on a date, you can go blah, 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 right? And so depending on the difficulty of what you're trying to get out of that girl, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, So, your way of speaking is going to have to be harder, as opposed to, who knows, maybe you just want to go and say hi. You just want to go and say hi, get a good response from that girl. And then at that point, you just got what you want with communication. Very simple. You just go up and you say hi, and that's very that's pretty easy, So you gotta see, measure out things. So what I would recommend is that you start just to practice with easy things. Go to the store and go and talk to the people that work there and ask them like about this product, about the other product. For the most part, that's going to be pretty simple talk. At work, perhaps you might want to engage in conversations with your coworkers rather than engage with your boss just yet. So maybe ask for things from your coworkers. When it comes to talking to girls, perhaps you might not want to start with talking to strangers. Instead, talking to girls that are within your circle, and start approaching them. That way, it's not as complicated because you at least you've seen that girl before. You kind of know what she's about, and so it's gonna make it a little bit more easier, for you to get a win. Because obviously, you need to get some wins at first. You can't just be going about this and start getting losses left and right, because that is just going to be very demotivating, and you're not going to want to continue practicing how to improve your communication. So really do that, and that's pretty much it. You go and you practice, and within time, you're going to start getting better and better and better until eventually, you'll be able to be very selective and really choose where you want to execute your communication skills, whether it's here, whether it's there. And of course, we can go more specific as to what kind of communication you're having. Like there's specific things you can learn about communication with talking to your boss in any work environment. There's a different type of approach you can take with women. There's a different approach you can take when you're negotiating, maybe at a store, you're negotiating a price for something. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's different elements of communication, and we can go deeper into those in another video. If you want me to do that, make sure you leave a comment down below saying that you want me to make a video about that. But just know that. So know that. Make sure that you speak up with a strategy. So make sure that you choose exactly, first of all, accept that you suck. Second of all, choose your reason. What's your motivation? You want to go talk to that girl. Maybe you just want to get a good response. So the strategy is go and say something that's going to get me a good response. And as soon as I get the good response, I am good. And make sure you're very disciplined, and make sure you're very honest with yourself as far as like what you want. Because sometimes, you know, you actually do get what you want, but then you try to go and push it a little bit more, and then you don't get what you want. And because of that, now you consider the whole thing a failure, but you forget that the main purpose was just to do a certain thing. You know, like this would happen to me with girls a lot. You know, I would go up to them and I'd be like, okay, you know what? My only purpose is to go up to them and say hi, get a good response, get a smile, and that would be the end of it. But, you know, once I would go and do that, you know, I'd go and say hi, I would get a good response. I would see that they would respond well, they would stay there, and then I would push it, you know, to go and get a date. And at that point, you know, I just blew it because I didn't know what I was doing. And so, and I would consider that a really bad interaction overall. And what I didn't realize is that my purpose at first was just to go and say hi. So I did succeed, but then I decided to push it right in the moment, and it didn't work out. Not to say that you shouldn't do that, but if you do that, make sure that you realize that, hey, you know, I'm choosing to push it here. This is like a, sorry, this is like a bonus. So this isn't something that I have to do. This is something I'm just playing around with. So it doesn't matter whether I do get the date or I don't get the date. This is just me you know, feeling confident and cocky at the moment. And that's perfectly fine. You know, you're going to have those moments here and there where you're just going to want to push it, you know, because, you know, you succeeded in the easy approach. And so now you want to elevate and maybe you can get something even bigger out of the interaction. So yeah. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you comment if you like the video. It's really going to help me out. And share with anyone you think that might find use of this video. And of course, if you know an introvert out there, make sure you tell them to subscribe to this channel, because this channel is for introverts. And so I want to help out as many introverts as possible. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.